Week 10 is upon us. Week 9 saw some breakout performances. We're going to tell you which ones of those are going to stick around. We're going to hit some waivers, talk some injuries. We're ready to go. Are you? Fantasy Whiplash Live starts right now. Hey, what is up today? My peoples, we're here. Get used to it. I've got my buddy Alex Johnson from Yards Per Fantasy with me. We're going to talk some waivers. We're going to talk some breakout performances, and who's going to be sticking on rosters for the rest of the season. And Alex is gone. Gotta love live streams, right? So Alex will be back with us. I want to take this opportunity to remind everybody, please do like and subscribe. Like this video. Subscribe to the channel. There's all kinds of good stuff on Player Profiler now. You can also ring the bell on our videos so you know anytime we go live. And anytime the Dynasty Degens go live, if you like college stuff, we've also got IDP, the whole 9 yards. Everything is here. So let's get us started. I'm just going to kick off with some injuries while Alex is away. I think, the most notable, or one of two most notable ones, is going to be Jaden Daniels. He's got a badly dislocated elbow. They're saying at least 2 weeks he'll be out, but he does not need surgery, had an MRI. And it'll be at least once the Commanders play a couple games and see where they're at, then Dan Quinn and company will decide whether Jaden is going to come back or not. So that I think fantasy owners are best left to their own devices as far as finding a replacement, having somebody on deck ready to go, whether it's Marcus Mariota, if you're in a league that's got, all the quarterbacks rostered, or you're in a 2-quarterback league. Marcus Mariota, you could do worse. He gives you a little bit of a rushing upside. Hasn't played terrible in Daniel's stead. So that's a plus. I should mention Brock Purdy, still day-to-day, still no timetable. I'm starting to wonder again if he's going to be back, because Mac Jones is playing really well. So I don't think they're in a terrible hurry to rush Purdy back. And it should be noted also that his receiver, Ricky Pearsall, is also still not ready. In fact, I think they already said he's going to be out this week. So, but the 49ers are, they're playing awfully well for a team as completely decimated by injury as they have been. So that's Purdy and Pearsall. I just got done talking about Jaden Daniels, Alex, and his dislocated elbow. And I was the one other quarterback I was going to mention was Stroud. Took a bad hit and banged his head on the turf, wound up in concussion protocol. It seems like it's been my experience lately that getting the 1 week turnaround is so rare anymore. So I don't think we can count on him just turn around and come back this weekend. Just shooting through a couple injuries here, Alex. Bucky Irving still day to day without a timetable. Omari and Hampton, we just got news this week. Harbaugh said after the bye at least, and their bye is week 12. But you think, Kimani Vidal's doing pretty well, right?
Kimani Vidal is happening, man. Been a little disappointing because I had a lot of Kimani Vidal in Dynasty last year, and then I dropped him in probably all those leagues this year. So I had to pay up to get him back, but we got a few shares still going, and kind of feel like a proud dad watching Kimani Vidal.
A proud dad?
Yeah.
I had a ton of shares of him in Dynasty as well, and I was just throwing him in every trade that I could last year. I'm like, what about all this? And I'll give you Kimani Vidal. And they were like, I don't really want him. And I was like, well, take him anyway. And now they're laughing all the way to the bank.
How about now?
How about now? Hampton is, at this point, I think fantasy owners should probably operate under the assumption they're really just not going to get Hampton back. Because even if he's, activated right after the bye, him being ready during the fantasy playoffs seems somewhere between slim and none.
Well, they showed him on TV a week ago, and he's still in a boot, leg elevated. He's not coming back for a while.
Yeah, he's not coming back. On the flip side of that, another one who is on the IR right now is Trey Benson, who had surgery on his meniscus this year. He has recovered from surgery. He is attending meetings and working with trainers, even though he has not been actually practicing with the team. He's eligible for reinstatement after this weekend's game. And it sounds like once he starts practicing, he's not going to be far off. Is that somebody you're going to run out and stash as soon as possible, maybe even today?
Well, you sent me some notes this morning on some possible topics, and you asked me to bring a potential league winner. So my notes, one of the guys I had written down as a potential league winner is Trey Benson. So yes. Yeah. I want to stash Trey Benson anywhere I can right now.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I love Trey Benson regardless. And so he's been on my IR in many leagues all season long. And yet his ownership is dipped now down to 59%, presumably because there's so many other injuries going through. But yeah, if he comes back, I think he was getting 55% of the snaps before he went out.
Yeah, he was catching a bunch of passes too.
Yeah. And I mean, and he was also averaging like close to 6 yards a carry. So what's up, Dane? How are you, my man? Thanks for coming in.
And should I mention his championship week opponent?
Arizona is playing. Are they playing Miami?
No, better.
Better? How could that be?
Think of your home, your little,
Oh
your
no! I hate you so much.
It's the Bengals in week 17. Fire up Trey Benson, league winner.
Dude, you waited for my girlfriend to come into the room before you said that. Just to emasculate me. Yeah. This just in, the Bengals suck. I said the other day, everybody needs to make sure they're checking their Halloween candy because I found the Bengals fans' hopes and dreams inside of Snickers. So yeah, I think he's stashable now because next week is, they're gonna have like a concrete day he's coming back, and it's just gonna be a race to the waiver wire at that point.
Yeah, why wait and try to contend with your league mates to pick him up when you can just get him now if he's available?
Yeah, I mean, unless you have 5 players on IR, but hopefully some people are out of the woods on that a little bit. Another big one, this hurts, I think, just across the board, whether you had a bunch of shares of them or not, is Tucker Kraft. Just has been a monster this year and seems like one of those good guys, and you just hate to see it. You know what I mean? Not just from a fantasy standpoint, but in general. Did you have many shares of him?
I did. Yes. I have him in some pretty big tournaments as well, and the dude was feasting. I mean, he was on the verge of superstardom.
Yeah,
he was the guy in that offense that we could count on week to week. I mean,
he was the only guy you could count on week to week. Yeah,
he's got some George Kittle in him.
Man, what's up, Angie? Thanks for coming in. Done adulting for the night, I guess. What else we got? Terry McLaurin is out for at least 2 games. He's probably going to go the same way as Jaden Daniels, which is when they're sort of ready to come back, they're probably going to look at how they've played and decide if it's even worth bringing these guys back. I mean, or just shut them down. I think it's more likely with Daniels, but because they don't want him to re-injure that elbow, even though it's not his throwing one.
Right.
So this is an interesting one. We talked up Torrey Horton.
We sure did.
We did on our sleeper show. For anybody that doesn't know, we do a sleeper show every Saturday night at 9:00, and we're pretty good at it.
We're pretty good, man. We're
pretty good. I mean, not to pat ourselves in the back, but
at this point, you can't even call it a hot streak anymore. It's not even. It's just
it's like I'm like, why aren't there even more people here? I mean, it's getting busier and busier every week as people are starting to catch on, but man,
Well, now that everybody's going to be there, this will be the week it's a dud.
That's exactly right. When we go 0 for 6.
Yeah.
So Torrey Horton, we talked up, and he had a good game. He was over 40 yards, got a pair of touchdowns. So I foresaw him really eating into Cooper Kupp's routes, because Kupp is just, I mean, he's not Kupp-like. You know what I mean? The Kupp is not runneth over. And he's only got a couple hundred yards. I mean, it's just been whatever. But then they went out today and got Rashid Shaheed. Why did they do that, Alex?
So thank you, Torrey Horton, for your service. Kick him in the
Right.
grave. It is over for Torrey
Yep.
Horton, at least for now.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it was fun while we had some good times, didn't we?
It was a good week. It was a good week. At least he came through for us. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. Made us look good.
But Rashid Shaheed, it's going to be fun in that offense. Somebody to kind of open things up down the field. I mean, if you think Jackson Smith and Jigba is feasting now, wait until the defense has to respect Rashid Shaheed over the top.
Yeah. Yeah. He's going to get a fair amount of deep shots from Sam Darnold. I can tell you that right now. And yeah, you're right. I mean, Smith and Jigba already is, I mean, he's probably playing the best out of any of the wide receivers thus far this season.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's, I mean, all of a sudden he's just going to get single covered now because everybody's worried about Shaheed and cheating safeties over and whatnot.
I would venture to the guess that the Seahawks will no longer be last in pass attempts in the league per game.
Will no longer be what?
At the bottom of the league in pass attempts. Because now you got JSN playing the way he's playing. You got Rashid Shaheed entering that picture. Cooper Kupp will be back. Torrey Horton showed you what he can do. And I mean, you even got the pair of tight ends. And then Sam Darnold has looked fantastic.
Sam Darnold has looked amazing and still only 45% rostered in Yahoo leagues. He is a great candidate for people that have like lost Jaden Daniels or and just need a bye week fill in for Stroud. Who knows what's going to happen with Kyler Murray? I don't. I have no clue what they're even thinking.
Yeah, I think with Kyler, I think their plan is to roll with Jacoby the rest of the year, even though Kyler's injury thing going on here. At some point, it is still Jacoby Brissett. At some point,
well, sure,
the wheels are going to fall off that train, and they're going to have to turn back to Kyler. But at that point, we might be into week 13, week 14, week 15 by the time that happens.
Yeah, but I mean, Jacoby Brissett could also be steering them closer to the playoffs. So then what do? Playoffs?
If Jacoby gets you there, he won't. But if he does, you got to keep rolling with him. You got to keep rolling. I mean, us as fantasy managers, I don't give a shit about Jacoby Brissett. No, but we're not starting Jacoby Brissett. But those of us who have Trey McBride, those of us who have Marvin Harrison Jr.,
R.I.P.
Those of us who want to, play a little bit of Michael Wilson here and there, keep Jacoby Brissett in that starting lineup.
Yeah,
better for that offense.
He's got more touchdowns to Trey McBride in the last 3 games than Murray threw to McBride in the last 3 years.
Yes. Yes,
That's repulsive.
it's insane. I mean, Trey McBride wasn't even a touchdown scorer in college or high school. And all of a sudden, Jacoby Brissett unlocks the end zone. He has shown the light to Trey McBride. Like, hey, this painted area, it's a really fun place to be. And Trey McBride's like, oh, all right, you know what? It is kind of fun being in here. And he's just catching touchdowns every week. It's
McBride's like, can I get some more of this? This is good. I like this.
Kyler who?
Yeah, exactly. He's that little kid running around there somewhere. Marvin Mims, nobody cares, but he's not going to play on Thursday. He's got a concussion. Cole Kmet, nobody cares. He re-aggravated his lower back injury, came back in the game, and then left with a concussion. And all that does is open up the door for my sleeper last week.
Yeah.
Mr. Colston Loveland, who ate.
He sure did. I
mean, he's a tight end, and he had a 58-yard touchdown that won the game with 17 seconds left.
The Bengals solve all the problems, man.
The Bengals solve all the problems. And speaking of which, I think there was another Bear in that game. Might also have been a rookie. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? Magnanga Hala? Kyle Mesothelioma?
Yeah.
Who was your sleeper, if I'm not mistaken?
Well, I think we tandemed that one. We did that together.
Yeah.
I'll take the credit. If you want to give it, I'll take the credit.
Yeah, take the credit. I'm here giving it out. It's
I am always very open to taking any credit you want to send my way.
Of course you are. Because you don't get any from anyone else.
That is very true. I get the hate. Believe me, when I am wrong, I hear about it.
Oh, I do too.
When I'm right, crickets.
So perhaps one of the biggest free agent prizes was your boy, Adonai Mitchell, going to the New York Jets of New Jersey at the Meadowlands Central Park adjacent.
Yeah. I am not claiming Adonai Mitchell. I talked about him for that 1 week. And that one week he did very well until he got to that goal line and he didn't have Jacoby Brissett to shine the light for him. And he said, I'm just going to drop the ball right here. If only Jacoby was there.
Oh, if only it was Jacoby. Yeah, I mean, is he going to have a role at all for the Jets, or are they just such a mess that it's not going to make any difference regardless?
I'm
not even just talking from a fantasy standpoint. I'm just talking in general.
I would like to say that yes. I mean, physically speaking, Adonai Mitchell, Garrett Wilson aside, he's the most talented wide receiver on that roster. But that's
not saying a whole lot.
I just think there's a mental block up there for him. There's something going on. The Colts gave up on him that easy already in his second year. They used a second-round pick on him. They've already given up on him. This is a good team. This is a team that's contending. They've already given up on Adonai Mitchell. I mean, you really think the Jets were like, we're not going to make this deal unless we get Adonai Mitchell? No, the Colts were like, you know what? Let's sweeten the pot a little bit. You want to take this guy? You can have him.
That's like me giving away Kamani Vidal last year.
Exactly. Please take him. We don't want him. We're done with him.
You don't want him. Can we get a bag of footballs? No. All right, we'll take him anyway.
It's like when the Commanders traded Jahan Dotson in the division to their division rivals. That you knew it was over. RIP, it's done.
Yeah. Speaking of RIP, I believe you brought up one Marvin Harrison Jr. last week.
I did. However,
not that I am one to ever bring your words back up and throw them at you.
What? I would never do that to you.
Yeah. No, you'll just keep talking about the Bengals relentlessly.
I just want to say, yes, I did say RIP or something along those lines for Marvin
It's
Harrison.
not along those lines.
However, if you remember correctly, I told you that this was going to be a week where he was going to blow up. He was on the thumbnail. Boom. Marvin Harrison Jr. And he was every Sunday morning, Marvin Harrison, because he was going to blow up. All right. The 1 week. Jacoby solves everything. All right. And so do the Cowboys.
Jacoby for MVP.
Yeah.
I think. So how about in Green Bay without Tucker Kraft? How much fab are you spending on Luke Musgrave?
How much fab are we spending? Minimal. Nothing. Nobody wants him. Nobody wants him. He's forgotten. Nobody gives a shit about Luke Musgrave except for me. We want Luke Musgrave. You don't have to spend up to get Luke Musgrave. You don't need to. Just put in a minimal claim. You'll get him. Don't worry. Luke Musgrave is, this is a athletic specimen, 6'6", 253 pounds. If you pull up his player profiler page and you look at those athleticism bars, those things are to the top all across the board. And if you remember correctly, the Packers not only used a second-round pick on Luke Musgrave, but they drafted him in the same draft class before they drafted Tucker Kraft.
Yeah, year one, Musgrave got all the snaps because Kraft was hurt.
He had 5 weeks where he was a top 15 tight end in fantasy football. 52 yards and a touchdown in a playoff game against the Cowboys. And back then, the Cowboys had a decent defense. This is a legitimate tight end. He's going to have a role. He's going to, may I say, he could be a playmaker in that offense.
Would you say he's a league winner?
Absolutely not. No. They spread the ball around there too much.
I thought you said absolutely, and I was you are crazy.
I am crazy. Don't give me. I am crazy, but not that crazy. We're not going to go Luke Musgrave league winner. But Luke Musgrave, can he be a top 18 tight end rest of the season? I think he can. I think he could be a guy that you stream.
Top 18?
Top 18, top 20. Yeah, I think he could be in that range. Yeah, feel good about it. You got to feel this is a guy who's off the radar.
There was a moment where I don't know if it was a real rumor or if somebody just manufactured it. There was a rumor that Green Bay was interested in Michael Mayer, and that I would have.
That would have been fun.
Yeah,
that would have been fun. That would have been awesome. Yeah, he would have slotted right into that Tucker Kraft role.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, Luke Musgrave. I have Luke Musgrave on a dynasty roster, and Sunday morning I needed a roster spot, and I was this close to dropping him, but just something told me, it's not time yet. It's not time yet. Don't do it. And I didn't do it. And
you'll do it next week.
No, he's here to save the day. League winner.
He doesn't have Jacoby Brissett, dude.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right. Sure in love. All right. Well, top 18.
All right. Well, we're about halfway, which means I have to do my obligatory, but I love doing it. Talk about Fast Draft. We can draft faster on
Are we gonna
fast.
play? Are we gonna play an ad here? Because I might get knocked out. Because when you played that video at the beginning, it knocked me out. So just warning, it might kick me out.
Okay. Well, that's okay. I kind of enjoyed talking without you looking at
All
me.
right.
But yes, we are.
All right.
So for anybody that has not been playing Fast Draft, I'm not just saying this, it's a lot of fun. There are 2 games right now. If you enjoy actually drafting against other people, you can do the Flex 6 Frenzy, which is it's a 20-second clock. You're drafting 6 guys. It goes by like that. If you prefer something a little more set up, like Underdog or DraftKings or something that's not best ball, you can do the Quick 6 Super Slam, which is there's no salaries. You just pick 6 dudes that you think are going to do well. It's like making a fantasy lineup, really. Except you don't have to worry about quarterbacks or defenses or kickers. It's all pass catchers and running backs. So with that said, let's hope Alex doesn't get kicked out of here and hear what the Podfather has to say about the Quick 6 Super Slam.
Pour one out for an incredible best ball season. It was a breakout 2025 for Fast Draft, but now the NFL action has started. That means it's DFS season. That's right. You might think, oh, wow, DFS, I can't win DFS. Oh, but you can on Fast Draft. You just pick any 6 guys, and you put them in a handful of booster spots. There's no salary rubric you have to follow. You're not going up against thousands of killer bots in these tournaments. Oh, no. These are regular people grabbing their 6 favorite plays of the week, and that's all you have to do. And we post the ownership so that you can choose how much chalk you want. There is no drafting. It's called the Quick 6 Super Slam. The Quick 6 Super Slam is the signature DFS contest at Fast Draft. It is changing DFS. We are making DFS great again. So go to fastdraft.app and use your host promo code for a $50 deposit match. And let's go start drafting faster.
Let's go start drafting faster. That promo code is right, not Samwise, but Whip. Just put Whip in there and you get your dollar amount matched. And these games are like $5 and $10. That's it. And you can win 400, 500, 1,000, 2,000. So it's and like the top 50 get paid out something. So it's worth it. You should play it. Alex plays it. I play it. Alex never wins. But
I was just going to say I've lost a lot of money on Fast Draft this year. But I keep coming back. It's a lot of fun. I like the Quick 6 Super Slam.
Yeah. Quick 6 Super Slam is cool because there's no pressure. You're not worrying about what somebody else is going to do. You just pick dudes. You know what I mean?
DFS, and you don't have the salaries to deal with. So you can just, whoever you think is going to smash that week, basically is what you do. Just put them
right. Let's talk about some waivers. You got anybody you want to mention in particular, or do you want me to throw out some names? You can tell me what you think.
Yeah, throw out some names for me, and I'll let you.
Okay.
I think of them.
Let me get up here.
I mean, don't forget to pick up Jacoby. We got to pick up Jacoby.
Jacoby Brissett needs to be rostered in every league.
One guy I would love to stash is Tank Bigsby. Can we stash Tank Bigsby? Can we pick him up? Just put him on our bench. It's handcuff season is upon us. And that dude ran for 100 yards.
It's always handcuff season for you.
In my world, it's always handcuff season, but this is the time where it's really like, all right, we got to start, thinking about, transitioning our benches to be a little bit more handcuff heavy. And Tank Bigsby has kind of risen up those handcuff rankings quite fast over the last couple of weeks. Will Shipley's not happening. Tank Bigsby ran for 100 yards in relief of Saquon Barkley in like a quarter. So,
yeah, man, the Shipley thing drives me nuts. I was such a big fan of his coming out of college, and he and Marshawn Lloyd have kind of mirrored each other in that they were like hurt, then they weren't, then they were, and now Shipley's healthy, but Lloyd is still just nowhere to be found.
Well, what about I want your thoughts, because we talked about Parker Washington week, right, on our Sleepers show, and he did really well. Another one of our hits, one of your hits.
Hit it.
And which, by the way, you stole him from me. So
I did not steal him.
I'm sharing the W on that one.
All right.
Whether you have no say in that. I'm stealing.
Well, you apparently got 5 wins on Saturday night.
At least don't forget, I had a 3 for 1, and all 3 of my guys hit. I came out there and I said I like the Seahawks passing game, and guess what happened? The Seahawks passing game blew up. Anyway,
I almost had a bold prediction hit.
I know you did, which was a big upgrade, because the week before your bold prediction was that the winless Jets were going to get blown out. So at least it came with something good. But Parker Washington, a lot of people are going to be like, all right, Parker Washington had a really good week last week. Brian Robinson Jr. is banged up. Travis Hunter obviously went on IR. However, Jacoby Myers got traded to the Jaguars today. What are your thoughts as far as how aggressive are you going to be looking to acquire Parker Washington after that deal? Does he get disintegrated? Is it RIP already for Parker Washington? Is this a Corey Horton situation, or is he still going to produce alongside him?
No, I think it's RIP Jacoby season.
It might be, yeah.
Because he just can't get. I mean, I know Geno Smith isn't hot shit, but he just can't get anything going this season at all. And if Trevor Lawrence can't hit Brian Thomas Jr., I don't know why that makes me think he's going to be able to hit Jacoby Myers.
I mean, it's just East Coast Geno Smith with long hair.
It really is. It really is. So I'm still going to be aggressive on Parker Washington, just as though Myers wasn't even there. And I'm sure I'll be cursing his name at some point for taking catches away. But yeah, I mean, Myers is still like rostered in a few leagues. He's not down there that low, but Parker Washington's 18% still. So there's going to be a lot of people getting him on the trying to put in a claim for him on waivers this week. What about you? Is that going to stop you from looking at Parker Washington?
Not entirely, no. My bid might come down a little bit lower than what it would have been otherwise, because it still is Parker Washington. I mean, it's still, it's not like the superstar wide receiver. We've seen enough of him to know that he's not going to, have this blow up second half of the season or anything. But I do think, especially because there are 2 injuries happening in that wide receiver core right now in Jacksonville, I think he's still worth prioritizing if you need a wide receiver, especially because I believe they've already had their bye week. So you get that, out of the way at least as well. He'll at least help you get through the bye weeks.
Yeah.
He's not going to be a league winner, but can he get you through the bye weeks? Can he just get you, those PPR points, give you that floor? I think he can.
Yeah,
I don't like to spend up on wide receivers. I don't like to spend big on that position because you can find 14 Parker Washington on the waiver wire at any moment.
That's right.
But if I need a wide receiver in the short term, yeah, I'll put a few bucks down on Parker.
And that doesn't stop people from constantly rostering Wan'Dale Robinson.
Exactly.
You get about 1 million of him too.
Exactly. You can find wide receiver production on your waiver wire any given week. I promise you. Just come to our sleeper show. We'll tell you who to pick up.
So I've got another one. I'm convinced actually that you're a closet Colts fan. Because you love Anthony Richardson.
Loved to.
Past
tense.
Adonai Mitchell is your boy.
No, don't give this. Don't.
And right now, I think one of the better waiver wire pickups would be your other boy, Alec Pierce.
I am not an Alec Pierce guy. I promise you, I'm not an Alec Pierce guy. I've historically been an Alec Pierce hater. He just had he was set up for a big week last week, and once again, I nailed it.
And once again, I nailed it.
I am really setting myself up to have an awful week.
You really are.
The fantasy gods are looking down on me and they're ready to just crash my world right now.
You know what, though? If you got it, flaunt it while you can. Because, things turn bad to worse before you know it.
I mean, just check out the fantasy receipts account and you'll see a few from me that are pretty brutal.
Right. I want to see you throwing water on somebody's potential, like in a video.
I haven't done that in a long time. Who was that I did? Oh, that was Gabe Davis. And guess what? Who was right about that one again?
And the special effects were just outstanding.
Let me tell you, my kitchen was soaked.
So are you putting in a claim for Alec Pierce? I know you just said you're not spending up for wide receivers, but
no.
I mean, now you got Adonai Mitchell's gone, so all those targets.
I mean, again, if you need a wide receiver with some, big play potential once in a while, I think Alec Pierce can be a guy that you can look to. I mean, Daniel Jones is playing really well this year. That offense is playing really well this year. And we talked about it when we did talk about Alec Pierce last week, that he's not just delivering those downfield plays anymore, those one-offs. He's also getting some, target volume. He was coming into last week, he was on pace for 90 targets on the season, which would be by far his career high. So he's giving you respectable looks. I think he's had double-digit targets. I think this was the third or fourth time this year he's had double-digit targets. So as I'm talking myself into Alec Pierce again, but but again, I do think that he is one of these guys that is replaceable on the waiver wire. There are a bunch of Alec Pierces. If you find the right matchups in the right week, you can find that production. So no, I'm not going to spend big on Alec Pierce.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. I wrote about this in the article today. This is the time of season when tinkering becomes a real problem. And you start picking up guys and you might have a guy whose production really hasn't waned that much, but you're used to what he gave you. I'm thinking like Jaylen Warren of old. You were used to what he gave you. You knew you could rely on it. And now people would drop that guy and add a dude, and then the next week get all pissed off that he didn't do anything and repeat the whole process. So anyway, but that's my soapbox moment. Obviously, Kyle Monongahela. What did I? Oh, well, I was going to tell you when. Olamide scored last week, and I was like, Zachariason.
The third. Don't forget the third.
Oh man. Obviously, Kyle he had a hell of a week. He was just filling in for Swift, but do you drop him now? Or
No.
Yeah.
No, his usage was being ramped up prior to this. When we went into our sleeper show, I was planning on doing Kyle Monungai one way or another. Even if Swift was playing, I had Kyle Monungai teed up as a sleeper I wanted to target last week because his role, he's getting 40 to 45, close to 50% of the snaps and in that offense and the 40% about the touches in that backfield. The previous 2 weeks, ever since the bye week, the Bears, they solved their run game problem, and they know that DeAndre Swift performs a lot better when he has a backfield mate, when he's not relied on to be this 20 touch per game running back. And Kyle Monungai had stepped into that role as not even a change of pace guy anymore. He was, almost a 1B in that backfield. And now, after this performance, I think he might be the 1A. And DeAndre Swift takes a backseat to the 1B. I don't think Kyle Monungai is going to be a 70% opportunity share type of running back going forward if DeAndre Swift is, healthy. But can he be, a 55% of the touches in that backfield? I think he can be.
Yeah, I mean, he just cemented his case basically. Like you said, he was already trending in that direction. He, at the very least, cemented a 50-50 split, no question.
Yeah, and
but I agree with you. I guess it could depend on game script or hot hand approach. But yeah, I could see him, getting more carries than Swift, and Swift is having a good season this year. It's the first good one he's had in a while.
Yeah, and you think of Kyle Monungai, you think of him as this, first and second down back, this big bruiser between the tackles who doesn't catch passes. And that's, for the most part, that's accurate. But he had 5 targets last week as well.
I was surprised. I didn't realize he was only 5'8".
Yeah, he's a small dude. He's big.
But he's over 200 pounds.
Right. He's got that power. He's got a little bit of Pacheco in his game. He's not as athletic. He's not as explosive, but he's got that, I'm going to run through you no matter what mentality. Right. I believe they both came from the same school. So maybe he probably watched a lot of Pacheco. He probably idolized Isaiah Pacheco, and he adopted his playing style. And I think we're seeing that come to fruition now. And I admittedly was not a big Kyle Monungai guy, when him coming out of college this year, even in the preseason, he received a lot of buzz. I was still clinging on to the Roshan Johnson. See, I do get things wrong. I do get things wrong. But you see, I know, you see the usage and you see the way that he's played, and you just can't deny it. This is a good running back, and he's got a good role in a pretty good offense that is getting his running game going, and it seems to be getting better and better every week. And that, it's kind of cliche, but Ben Johnson, what he did with those running backs in Detroit, and I don't want to compare, Kyle Monungai and DeAndre Swift to Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, but this is a guy who has successfully utilized a 2 running back system. And I think, he would love to do that again. And I think he's got the personnel to do it. And I think Kyle Monungai is going to be a big reason for that.
I think he should. I think he should. And he's exciting to watch too.
Yeah.
So many of these guys that are available on waivers just bore me. Devin Singletary, Imari Demarcado, I guess, is worth a flyer because he outplayed Knight last weekend.
He looked explosive on his limited touches last night. He looked good.
Think about the one where he dropped the ball before the end zone. I mean, he shot through that line and left everybody in the dust.
And now he's on a revenge tour because of that.
Yeah. So how about we talked about Sam Darnold. If you're in like a 2-quarterback league, a lot of teams have rostered 3. Are you feeling real bad about having to pick up Marcus Mariota?
No. I mean, he gives you that added element with his legs. So even though, there's no Terry McLaurin in that offense, and even though it's Marcus Mariota, he can give you that production with his legs, whether it's rushing yards, whether it's rushing touchdowns. And I think he flashed that, in his starts when Jaden Daniels was out initially. He had
the first time.
He had some moments where he was, running the football. I mean, he was QB6 in week 3, QB17 with 17 fantasy points. He's been a top 20 quarterback in all 3 of his starts, I believe. So yeah, he's not going to be, a top 12 guy every week, but I think he's got upside where, if he's starting rest of the year, we might get a handful of top 12 QB weeks. We'll also get a couple where he's outside the top 20 as well, but he can give you that rushing ability, which gives you a nice little floor. And then if he has a good game, throwing the football, he, rushes a touchdown in, he can be a usable guy. I think he's a guy who is definitely viable as a streamer, at least.
Yeah, I think he's probably matchup dependent, at least for now, until he continues to, pardon the pun, get his legs underneath him. But right now, I guess the only problem is he's got Deebo Samuel, who's got a heel issue. And now McLaurin is out, and Luke McCaffrey, who already is nothing to write home about, broke his collarbone.
Yeah.
And we already know what's going on in the backfield. Actually, we don't know what's going on in the backfield, and that's part of the problem.
Yeah, I mean, we're starting to see Chris Rodriguez sneak into that backfield a little bit more and more over the last couple of weeks.
How about Troy Franklin? I'm interested in to hear your thoughts about him because I go back and forth on him. I can't decide if he's boom bust dependent or what. Do you have any feelings one way or the other?
Yeah, he does feel pretty boom bust, but this is a guy who has commanded double-digit targets on multiple occasions this year. I think he's clearly established as the wide receiver 2 in that offense. Not even just the wide receiver 2. I think he's the number 2 option in the passing game because Evan Ingram isn't happening.
Yeah.
I think he's, a matchup guy. You're going to want to play the matchups with him. He's not going to be a guy that you're plugging in. He's not going to be a staple in your lineup. But you need some wide receiver production. You need a wide receiver 3. You need a flex play with a good matchup. He's got the Cowboys, I believe, upcoming this week.
Yeah.
So I definitely, out of the wide receivers that we've talked about already as potential waiver wire claims, Troy Franklin would be top of my list if I need a wide receiver this week because he gets the Cowboys.
Does he play the Bengals anytime soon?
Does he get the Cowboys, or am I mistaken? Did they already play the Cowboys? I don't even know. I might be.
I don't recall. Yeah, I think I don't have a ton of moves to make that I think will benefit my teams. There are a couple injury replacements I have to make. Losing Jamar Chase and Rashee Rice on the same team at the same time is not awesome. But I think, I already have Loveland in a couple leagues. I'm going to go after him in a couple more if he's available. I'll probably take a flyer on Parker Washington and Monongai if I can get him, but he ended up at 70% like we predicted on the Sleeper Show.
Yep.
And then I think my favorite guy on the list, and I already have a lot of shares of him, is probably Tez Johnson in Tampa Bay. I just don't see his role going anywhere anytime soon. Who knows if Godwin's going to come back? And even if he does, I think Shepard's the one that's going to lose out on snaps. Not Johnson, because they need that downfield threat that Mike Evans has vacated. Does he have any interest for you?
Mildly. I mean, he's not a guy I'm aggressively targeting, but I mean, in his last game, week 8, before the bye week, he ran 93% of the route. So if he's going to have anything close to that, yeah, sign me up. And he's had a couple of good weeks. He had 15 fantasy points, he had 11 fantasy points. And I think that role is going to continue to increase as long as Godwin's out, as long as Mike Evans is out. We've got little issues still going on with Emeka Egbuka.
Yeah, he's banged up for sure.
If Tez Johnson's going to have a role in a Baker Mayfield offense, yeah, I want him. And I do want to correct what I said about Troy Franklin. He's already played the Cowboys. That was history, and he did smash 6 for 89 and 2 touchdowns.
No, there you go. I was just about to say, well, how did he do?
He crushed it as predicted, right?
That's right. Yeah. Is there anybody in particular that you are targeting, or are you in pretty good shape?
Yeah, I mentioned Tank Bigsby earlier. He kind of that's where my mind goes as far as that's what I like to do. I like to stash some handcuff running backs. Are
you gonna go get Jaden Blue and Caleb Johnson and
well, I think we've already declared Caleb Johnson RIP, even though you disagreed with me. RIP.
I mean, RIP is a little soon.
Okay, well, RIP. It's over. But yeah, I mean, if we lost Tucker Kraft, I want to go and I want to get. You already mentioned Colson Loveland. We talked about Luke Musgrave. If Theo Johnson's still available, I want.
Yeah, I was going to mention Theo
on my team. Jawan Johnson's still semi-interesting. Rashid Shaheed's out of the picture now. It's a 39% target share from last week. I mean, that's not all going to go to Jawan, but I mean...
Yeah, I think Jawan he's been going downhill ever since Hill and Moreau came back. And then it just seemed like too many cooks in the kitchen on those routes.
How about someone like Blake Corum? I know I'm going back to the handcuff running back thing, but Blake Corum has started to have a little smidge of standalone value here and there. He's eating into that Kyron Williams workload a little bit more over the last few weeks. And he's looked good doing so for the most part. He's had some rough moments, but he's also flashed a bit as well.
You're going to get death threats from the Jacquiz owners.
if anything happens to Kyron Williams, it is full wheels up for Blake Corum. You talk about league winner, sign me up for Blake Corum.
Yeah.
He would be that guy. You know how much Sean McVay likes to just commit to one running back. And I think it says a lot that he is kind of taking a step back on that philosophy right now. And it's because of Blake Corum.
Yeah.
I want to stash Blake Corum if I can.
Let's answer this question. Thinking of trading Herbert and Subfab for Zay Flowers. He's already got, the other guy already has Johnston and Vidal, so stacking them with Herbert makes sense for him. I'd get Flowers to pair with Lamar Jackson and I guess Mark Andrews at tight end. That's a lot of stacking.
I know you're not a fan of that, which I will never understand.
I could have sworn I've talked you through this several times.
You have, and I completely disagreed. But it's a conversation we can have another day.
I think stacking in best ball is awesome.
It is awesome. Best ball, DFS, redraft, dynasty, stack them all, baby.
No,
Stack
just
them all.
stop. So would you go get Flowers if you're trading away Herbert? He's got Lamar. He's got Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, assuming this is a non-superflex league, which it doesn't say it is, so I would assume that it's not.
Right.
Then yes, I would very much like to acquire Zay Flowers for Justin Herbert, stack or not. And while you were talking, I pulled up our trade calculator on yardsperfantasy.com and I plugged this in, and it is a resounding W on the Zay Flowers side of things in a non-superflex league in a PPR format. So
really resounding, huh?
Resounding, which the trade calculator is fueled off of my rankings. So take it for what it is.
Right. That's interesting though, because the trade calculator doesn't know he has Lamar Jackson.
That is accurate. True. Yes. And so I would add even a little bit more of a bump, knowing that he does.
I'm just surprised that it would choose the wide out over the quarterback.
In a non-superflex league, yes. In a non-superflex league, we're going to choose the wide receiver over the quarterback, relatively speaking. And of course, this also does not include, I did not plug any fab in.
Right. Of course.
Even the scales.
Okay. We agree. Get Flowers. Go get them. Luke Mankey. All right. We're up against it, Alex. What do you think? You got anything else?
It's your show. You tell me. We talked about we talked about the guys who were traded today. So we covered that. Which I wish my fantasy leagues were as active as the NFL was today at the trade deadline. It would make things a lot more fun.
The only one I'm one of my home leagues is the only one in redraft that's active, and that is because it's a 2-keeper league and we can trade draft picks. So somebody loads up right for the stretch run, like 2 guys have like an arms race.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So
yeah, it's about that time to start getting aggressive and loading up your starting lineups. As we get into the double-digit weeks, that's what I like to do. I say, what is my bench going to do for me in the fantasy playoffs? They're not going to do anything. They're going to sit there and watch my lineup. So why don't I use the depth that I have and try to, package things together and aggressively upgrade my starting lineup. And then we'll go and we'll just absolutely run over teams in the playoffs. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm a big
Easier
fan
said
when
than done.
I'm a big fan when I'm doing that of this is the first time. I don't usually do it during the draft. I don't usually do it during the season. This is the first time I really address scheduling. I really start looking at if I need to make the playoffs, I'm looking at like weeks 12 and 13. If I know I'm going to be in the playoffs, I'm really just looking for, I don't know if you've seen Philadelphia's fantasy playoff schedule, but if there's going to be a time for AJ Brown to break out, it's going to be 14, 15, 16.
Well, before we did this show, I was actually looking at playoff schedules. I was doing that exact thing because you mentioned possibly talking about some league winners, and I was looking at playoff schedules, and that's how I came across, the fact that Trey Benson gets the Bengals in week 17. Jalen Waddle has a really juicy playoff schedule, fantasy playoff schedule. He gets the Steelers, the Bengals, and the Bucks. And George Kittle has a pretty strong playoff schedule as well. And I think he's slowly ramping things up. And I think by the time we get to the fantasy playoffs, he's going to be running on all cylinders. Brock Purdy's going to be back. He's going to be fully healthy. I don't know what's going on with Ricky Pearsall, whether he's going to be there or not. Jawan Jennings has been a mess with all of his head-to-toe injuries.
Well, what about Brandon Ayuk?
Who cares about Brandon? That's not helping my case. I think George Kittle is going to smash in the fantasy playoffs. I thought he was going to smash this season. I was really frustrated when he injured himself in week 1 because I think he was going to go on an absolute tear, and I think he's going to go on an absolute tear in the fantasy playoffs instead.
Yeah. All right. Let's call it a night. You got, why don't you tell everybody where to find you, where to find your stuff, whatever you want to plug.
Yeah, so you can find most of my stuff at this point is on the Yards Per Fantasy YouTube channel. I usually put out a plays of the week video on Fridays. And then we do our sleeper show on Saturday nights. And we do our start sit show on Sunday mornings. That's on the Yards Per Fantasy YouTube channel. And then, articles, rankings, trade calculator, all that good stuff. We have a weekly projections tool, which is a really, really cool tool to use. It's free. And we update it weekly. That's on the website, yardsperfantasy.com as well. I really encourage anybody who does projections or would like to get into projections. We have that weekly projections tool. I'd really encourage you to check that out. My guy, Matt, has absolutely made an incredible tool. It will literally tell you who you should start for your roster every week. It's phenomenal.
It's going to put us out of business.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. You should check it out. But yeah, otherwise, follow me on Twitter, _JohnsonFF, and see my horrible tweets.
Yeah, and Alex's Twitter is in the description, as is mine. And you can find him, you can find the Yards Per Fantasy Twitter at Yards Per. And hopefully we'll see some of you guys for our sleeper show on Saturday night. I'll be with Alex over at Yards Per Fantasy. And then Sunday we do starts and sits where we answer every single question you got. So thanks for coming on, brother.
Hey, thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Appreciate you. Say goodbye to the people.